Hey, this is Kathy Goodwin, and today we're going to talk about the first of a series of myths about branding. This myth is it's complicated. A little about me. I've been in online marketing for over a decade, so I know where a lot of bodies are buried. My first website was a career website where I worked with, and still continue to work with, corporate executives, business owners, and professionals who want to advance their careers or deal with challenges that come along the way as they're trying to reach their career goals. As I was building that website and working around the internet, I learned a lot about online marketing because all my clients came from the internet. So now I work with clients on internet marketing in three major areas: strategy, branding, and copywriting. These areas really function synergistically. They've worked together because copywriting actually helps you develop your strategy. A lot of people think you should get the strategy down and the branding and then, okay, maybe I'll go find a copywriter. But actually, a lot of times when we write the copy, we actually develop strategy in a really meaningful and actionable way. So let's look at the first myth about branding. It's complicated. Well, a lot of resources are invested in making it harder. For instance, some coaches will say you need to have the concept step, the strategy step, and the message step. And each one of these steps calls for some kind of a summary or statement. I don't know about you, but I start to get a headache after a while when I try to separate out, well, is that the concept statement or the strategy? Or are we already into message? And which goes first? I just read a book about branding that was sent to me for review when the author made it even more complicated, talking about something about the branding ecosystem, as in, give me a break. Other consultants will get you involved in multiple sessions with navel gazing. In other words, who are you really? Let's get really deep inside you. And finally, you may get involved in a montage of designs, logos, colors that will make your head spin. These things are important. You do need attractive materials, but the specifics on designs and creating a logo comes really as your brand evolves. As your brand grows, you're going to find a way to create these things without putting a lot of thought in. They'll just grow organically out of your message and out of your interaction with your market. So, in a word, when I see these, this is the feeling I get. Arg. And worse, there are some words that I might use that I'm not willing to repeat in a public video. So, what is the way to start making this more simple? First, branding is really nothing but managing expectations. When people hear your name, they come to expect things. They think of who you are, not in a navel-gazing way, but in terms of the kind of content you offer, the kind of message you send, and the style in which it's delivered. That may refer to graphics to some extent, but it usually refers to the kind of words you use, the phrases, the themes you include in your various messages. The things you don't say, for instance, might make a huge difference in your brand. Secondly, it's about the value you deliver and the type of value, the amount of value, both in your content and in your style. So if you mention anyone's name that you know who does a service and you know them maybe from the internet and their name comes up, one of the ways you'll hear people talk about them is to say, oh, wow, that person really gives a lot of value. Or they might say, person talks a good game, lots of marketing, but underneath, when you start to work with them, nothing happens. That's a brand. That is how they're branded, regardless of how much they've spent on the logo, the design, and the graphics. So here are some ways to keep things really simple. First, tell your story. That's the foundation of your brand. Your story has different parts. When I work with clients one-to-one, we talk about this. Your story of origin, how you started. We talk about how your clients have achieved success, because that's really, really critical to your brand. A lot of times when people say, well, I don't know what my brand is, I don't know what my message is, when we look at the way clients respond to them, that's the secret. And you may have some metaphors and stories related to how you deliver your service and really what your service is. So I would say, tell your story and then start writing. Build your opt-in page and giveaway. Write a sales letter for a program, for a service, for a product, and you will be surprised how quickly your brand starts to emerge when you start asking questions like, what are the benefits? What am I really promoting here? What are my clients, what are my prospects expecting when they read my materials? If you want to get more, I have several ways to work with you. My most powerful and most popular is the espresso consulting session. I call this espresso because it's like getting a shot of espresso. A small amount yields a lot of energy. In my favorite coffee shop in Philadelphia, La Colombe, when I order iced coffee, they always put a shot of espresso in. That really adds a major transformation of an ordinary iced coffee into something really special and energizing. And that's what I do when I work with you in one of these sessions. It's relatively short. It's a program that includes a meeting and some pre-work and some follow-up. And what we do is get so much done that people say, oh, this totally transformed the way I do marketing. Secondly, if you would like to have a specific question answered or have me look at a specific topic or a specific piece of marketing that you've put together, such as a sales letter draft or a blog post, you can ask for a video tutorial. That's really short and that is so powerful. People are always amazed. It's much more effective than a one-to-one phone call or meeting because I'll go through your material ahead of time while you're doing something else, and I'll put together a video tutorial that you can listen to at your leisure. So you don't have to spend the time while I think about it, while I make notes, and while I just analyze it. You just get the result, saving you huge amounts of time, and we get right to the point. And finally, I have a free branding secrets giveaway. You can go to this URL and download it for yourself. I look forward to seeing you on a future call, and I want to thank you for joining me today. We will be talking about future branding myths in videos.